Hello, everyone. Welcome to Intro to Studio Art. I'm your instructor, Jacqueline Gleisner. This course is intended to be an introduction to various art media. You will explore and experiment with drawing, painting, and sculpture. In this video, we will begin looking and learning about art, especially more contemporary examples. At times, your ideas about art might be challenged, and on occasion, we may look at artwork that may broaden how you think about art and its place within a society. Let's start with the sculpture titled Fountain. It is actually one of the most important pieces of art of the 20th century. French artist Marcel Duchamp submitted this work under a pseudonym to an exhibition at the Society of Independent Artists in 1917. Although this exhibition was supposed to accept all the artworks that were submitted, this sculpture was not displayed in the show. The ensuing kerfuffle over this submission challenged the definition of artwork for artists for centuries to come. Fountain was one of Duchamp's ready-mades, a term coined by the artists. Ready-mades are bottle racks, bicycle wheels, and yes, even a urinal that were modified and contextualized, thereby becoming works of art. But Duchamp did not concern himself with quality alone. He believed that bad art was just as important as good art, explaining, "What I have in mind is that art may be bad, good, or indifferent, but whatever adjective is used, we must call it art. And bad art is still art in the same way that a bad emotion is still an emotion." So what is art? We're going to look at some examples more deeply. Maybe some of these examples you have seen before, but some will likely be new. Of course, art can be a painting, and you've probably seen many paintings even if you do not frequent art museums or galleries. But look closely or do a little bit of digging and you may uncover surprising details. Take this painting called Christina's World by the American artist Andrew Wyeth. At first brush, this painting seems bucolic. A young woman admires the dramatic scenery. But Christina was, in fact, a real person who'd had a bout of childhood polio. She was unable to use her legs. Wyeth would watch Christina use her arms to move the weight of her body across her family's fields. Knowing this backstory changes your interpretation of this scene and the arduous task before Christina. My 5-year-old could paint that. Perhaps you've heard something along these lines when confronted by one of Jackson Pollock's all-over paintings. This one was purchased by the Museum of Modern Art in New York City the same year that the institution acquired Christina's World. Again, there's more to this abstract expressionist painting than meets the eye. Look closely, and you will begin to see the range of thick and thin paint pooled on the surface. It might appear to an untrained eye that these paintings happened quickly, but in actuality, Pollock moved slowly and with expert control. Improvisation and accidents are indeed part of his process, but Pollock's paintings were honed by years of practice, and they were fueled by a passion to reinvent painting in the wake of World War II. Howardina Pindell's painting on unstretched canvas called Autobiography, Ancestors, Middle Passage, Family Ghost references the sea. In this painting, which is part of the permanent collection of the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, a female figure floats among a swirling mass of body parts. Pindell's body emulates the posture of a crucifixion, a nod to Christianity that is complicated by the injustices of racial politics underscored in this painting's text reading, "separate but equal." Spend a little time examining this painting, and it's easy to see that the subtext is this country's history of racism. Sometimes art is not a thing like a painting, but a performance or a happening. Here, women licked strawberry jam off a car as part of a happening orchestrated by Alan Capro for the Festival of Contemporary Arts at the City Dump in Ithaca, New York. Inspired by the teachings of the avant-garde musician John Cage, Capra wanted to blur the boundaries between art and life by making artworks that were performative. Where does your life end and art begin? Would you lick jam off the hood of a car in the name of art? It might not be easy to always see this line or answer this question. Capra's happening might seem a little difficult to understand to an outsider, but sometimes art is much more obvious. Some artworks have a pointed message, like this 1988 poster by the Guerrilla Girls. What are some of the advantages of being a woman artist? A quick scan of this list should make it clear to a viewer that these so-called advantages are satirical. The Guerrilla Girls are a group of anonymous artists who don gorilla masks. They create pieces that expose gender, ethnic, and other biases, and they're still active today. They are feminists and activists, and their artwork serves a specific agenda. Some artworks are more personal in nature. And what could be more personal than your bed? Asked the British artist Tracey Emin. The idea for this installation, titled My Bed, has its roots in a personal experience. While recovering from the end of a romantic relationship in her bed among a tangle of messy sheets, empty alcohol bottles, cigarette butts, and much more, Emin decided that the fallout from a bad week was a work of art in its own right. My Bed traveled to Tokyo's Sagacho exhibition space in 1998, and the next year the work was exhibited at the Tate in London, where Emin had been nominated for the Turner Prize, a prestigious award given to a contemporary artist. She didn't win, many critics excoriated the work, but a star was born. In this short video, we've seen a urinal elevated to the status of art, paintings that have deeper meanings, a mess of a bed turned into a sculptural installation, and more. As Duchamp believed, it's not a matter of good or bad art, it's all art, the many strange and wonderful forms that art can take. Now it's your turn to answer the question, what is art? Using the resources provided to you on Canvas, compile a list of artworks that fit within your definition of art. From your research, you will create a short video presentation that will be shared with the class. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone.